Good afternoon, dear participants, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen. I warmly welcome to our guests from different countries. Welcome to Baku. I wish you a very pleasant stay in our city. Our session is dedicated to very important topic: e-learning, skills, education, and skills development, research development. I am Masuma Mamedova from Institute of Information Technology. Next to me, Mr. Chris Atherton. He is Senior Research Engagement Officer at GÉANT. At present, we're seeing the development of technology, information growth, development of innovative business, excellence of knowledge, excellence of skills. In this regard, the topic of our session is very important. I open this session and give floor to my colleague, Mr. Chris Atherton. Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Masuma. I'd like to invite up our first speaker today, Sara Garavelli, who is from the Skills for EOSC project, who will talk today about open science and skills development for the EOSC landscape. So please welcome on stage our first speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, but I'm another Sara. I'm Sara Di Giorgio. Sara Di Giorgio from GAR. And so first of all, I would like to thank you, all the GÉANT organizers, and also the Azerbaijan authorities for inviting me to present Skill for EOSC. And I hope that after this presentation, to welcome some collaboration with Azerbaijan universities and research centers who wants to join our activities. So, yes, if I have some slides, some presentation, I don't know. Yeah, so in this talk, I introduce you this project Skill for EOSC that stands for Skills for the European Open Science Commons, creating a training ecosystem for open and fair science. It is coordinated by GAR, that is an Italian NRN, and the project has just launched last week at the kickoff meeting in Pisa. So, okay. So, Skill for EOSC, responds to the Horizon Europe call that is a coordination and support actions for supporting an EOSC-ready digital skilled workforce. The project results are expected to train researchers so they can transform how they carry out research and exploit research outputs, leading to a better quality and contributing to the Horizon Europe EOSC partnership. EOSC is the European Open Science Cloud Initiative that is supported by the European Commission. So the project will meet the stakeholder needs and addresses the lack of open science and data expertise, the lack of a clear definition of data professional profiles and corresponding career paths, and proposes a framework to solve the fragmentation in learning resources. And here you can see some tweets that really depict this difficult situation that now we are facing in Europe and beyond, for the researcher who want to practice open science. And how we will fill these gaps for open science skills? By proposing a fair by design methodology for open science teaching and learning, and creating and coordinating a network of competence centers on open science and fair data, and unifying the current training landscape in a common and trusted pan-European ecosystem. Through how the Competence Center network and a dedicated training program for different profiles, we are confident to meet the call's expectation of raising competencies for an EOSC-skilled European workforce. So, the skills for EOSC main objective is to advance the open science skills by unifying the current training landscape in a common and trusted international ecosystem, closing the three gaps identified by the EOSC strategic research and innovation agenda about open science competencies. That is a lack of open science and data expertise, lack of a clear definition of data professional profiles and corresponding career paths, and the fragmentation in training resources. So the project is articulated on 5 key concepts. The first is a minimum viable skill set. So we will map career related to open science and define a minimum viable skill set for each of them, and elaborate a quality assurance and certification processes for learning material. Then, adopting a train-the-trainer approach, we will develop training science for policy courses and learning pathways for researchers, civil servants and policymakers, data curators, and data stewards for new types of professionals. The fair by design learning material is an approach that we will adopt to ensure the full compliance of training courses and materials to the FAIR principles, so making them reusable for humans and machines. This will be achieved by providing rich contextual information about the organization, the delivery, and the assessment of training. Then we will define the open science and data-intensive science essentials for undergraduate and postgraduate curricula, taking into account the needs of thematic professionals. And the final goal is to coordinate a network of competence centers on open science, engaging with relevant stakeholders at national, regional, and European level, in order also to establish synergies with key actors. So the project will be addressed to different stakeholders that are grouped in science for policy. So we will speak to honest brokers, civil servants, and policymakers, to institutions. So we will take care about undergraduate, PhD, data stewards, and professionals, also including data librarians and curators, and the legal and ethical experts. And we address also to research infrastructure and thematic communities, because we will design training suites that will take care about the specificity of domain communities. And then we will address also to professional networks with a lifelong learning path throughout peer networks. So here present the Skill for EOSC consortium that is coordinated by GAR and consists in 44 participants that represents initiatives from 18 member states and associated countries, and include thematic communities and 2 as-free research infrastructure as well. So the Skill for EOSC partners play a pivotal role in the country's open science national plans, and they can be considered as a key doors, not only at national and regional level, but also with a European and global reach, since most of them are partner in the EOSC association, or they are partner in EOSC-related projects. So the point of strength of the consortium lay in the expertise and the diversity of its members, and also the recommendation from earlier projects and initiatives in this area are considered. So for example, the work that has been carried out by FAIR project and the companies that has been matured there are taken into consideration. And also partners are well distributed geographically, and they play key roles in the open science context and regional and national level. And so this brings familiarity with the context of applying the open science, the knowledge of the local and regional programs, and contacts with the key decision makers, which allows influencing the status quo and these levels. So now I want to present a closer look at the project activities and work packages. So the first work package is dedicated to project management. So we start with the work package 2 that deals with open science profile, skill set and material, landscaping, certification, and quality. That is led by the Digital Curation Center. The activities will be based on engaging with institutional, national level, and international stakeholders in order to identify and map career profiles and existing skills profiles for open science, emphasizing professional roles and support researchers in practicing open science effectively. Then we will define the minimum viable skill set using relevant open science taxonomy and ontology, and develop a methodology to support the production of fair-by-design learning materials and curricula for competence centers and service providers and others. So we will develop a quality assurance process for training materials that will be piloted within the competence centers network that will be set up by the project. And we will elaborate, and thanks also to a co-creation approach and a community-endorsed quality assessment and certification framework for professionals in open science training and qualification. So the work package 3 is led by the National Infrastructures for Research and Technology in Greece, and will work on open science training for evidence-based policy and public administration. So here the goal is identified by the call is to foster the efficient uptake of relevant scientific data by public administration and encourage its use for evidence-based policy making. So this goal will be reached by designing and delivering science for policy courses, targeting researchers, honest brokers, civil servants, and policymakers. Workshops titled with the practice of informing policy throughout evidence will be organized. And this will be the training session for competence center staff. And so we plan to organize a training at national level at once member states for each. And training material will be based both on general open science principles as well as concrete best practice example for policymakers and civil servants. A particularity in our work, in our project, is this transversal work package that will deal with ethical, legal, and social issues, and that is led by University of Leuven. And so we plan this transversal working group that will deal with the ethical, legal, and social issues related to the design and the management of a research project and its result, and provide support for several work packages on different topics, such as the intellectual property rights, the public sector information, open data, licensing database rights, and research integrity. So this working group will produce coordinated set of guides, fact sheets, and facts on these legal aspects for open science that will be used by civil servants, policymakers, and regarding the methodology for fair-by-design learning materials. It will provide recommendations on IPR ownership and licensing to ensure the fairness of the material. So the goals objective to align curricula and learning path at an undergraduate, PhD, and professional levels for open science reading institution and thematic research infrastructure is taken by the working group Curricula and Learning Path for Open Science Reading Institutions that is led by the universities Carlos Terços de Madrid and the WPFI Open Science Skills for Research Infrastructures and Thematic Communities that is guided by OPERAS, that is a research, an ESFRI research infrastructure. These will design harmonized curricula and learning paths for open science professionals profile across Europe, training curricula for data stewards, data professionals, data librarians, and curators, but also legal and ethical aspects to ensure alignment, uniformity, quality, and recognition of the acquired competencies across Europe and beyond. So this will define the open science essentials to include in the undergraduate and PhD courses and support professionals to set up a European curricula for data stewards and other professionals. For each profile will be designed tailored courses that will include open science and science research data management, training for researchers, also tailored to some specific community needs that are, we have identified 4 pilots that will feature real-life setting for very different communities that are social science and humanities, solid earth science, climate change, and the museum. We have a museum, the Museum of Natural History of GÉANT. And so we will deliver these courses according to the train the trainers methodology, thanks to the role of the competence centers in our project. So the WP6 deals with professional networks for lifelong learning and is led by the University of Delft. The work package will support lifelong learning through how professional networks as enabling environment to discuss, co-create, and exchange best practice and solutions among open science professionals and researchers. And this work will foster by the building and animation of professional networks for data stewards, researchers, and thematic experts. So also they will be the key adopters of the project outputs and provide crucial iterative feedback of the outputs to the other work package. So here we will map the existing networks, ensuring that the creation of new professional network is grounded in existing communities. And surveys will identify gaps, expectations, and capabilities to steer harmonization under the umbrella of the National Skill for EOS Competence Center. And here, I want to invite also the Azerbaijan University to take part in these survey activities because, yeah, as I said, we have just started the project. And so it is very important also to design and to landscape your country and also the others that are here. And so, yeah, I will tell you after how to adhere how to participate also in this. And so, yeah. So here we are at the WP7 working group, and here it is the scope is to create the network of European Competence Center. This is led by GAR, and these activities include mapping and the scope of existing competence centers. And then we will create a lightweight mechanism for the coordination, including also some governing board and procedure. And yeah, here we will create also a starter kit for setting up competence center for those countries who doesn't have one. And yeah, so that they can offer support on sharing, reusing, and onboarding resources in the European Open Science Cloud, and yeah, with a lot of different material. And so, yeah. So there's, we will establish also a pan-European user support network for researchers and data professionals that will be linked to the competence center, and define a sustainability strategy for the coordination network. So the network of the Skill for EOS competence centers will be the key also for the long-term sustainability of the project results. So this work package deals with synergy, stakeholder engagement, and communication. And it's led by the Gothenburg University, and address this challenge by collaborating with the resulting project from the EOS topic and establishing synergy with national and regional programs on digital skills and training, as well as with other parts of the Horizon Europe initiative. but also liaise with the EOSC Association and Governance. And so also here is the invitation to make the synergy with our project. This work package also will design an advocacy kit for reaching out funders and policymakers and promote the uptake of our results that are the curricula, the methodology, and the quality certification framework. And in addition, it will provide a cross-work package support for communication and dissemination. So here, just to show you this diagram, just to let you know how it is organized, the communication between the different work packages, because there is an iterative process among the different parts, the different work packages and tasks. And yeah, as you see, the work package 2 provides a specification and the methodology to be implemented in the other work packages, the 3, 4, and 6, that deal with the training and upskilling activities. So the results of these activities are then disseminated and exploited by the WP8, throughout which we also implement a continuous feedback mechanism to improve the project outcomes throughout an iterative co-creation and validation process. The WP7 has a resultant action to all these phases and is instrumental for the sustainability and the long-term exploitation of the project results. But yeah, what I want to say is that this project, we work, of course, according to the FAIR by Design methodology, but we want to push the open science methodology, so we will adopt open platform using also collaborative and open writing and open environments, just to enhance the collaboration with users and with research center networks. And yeah, so this includes also inviting the community for reviewing our key outputs. And so I invite you, all those who are interested, to get in touch with and to join our community. And I'm very happy to, yeah, to answer your questions, or yeah, to welcome your collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll come stand over here. Thank you very much, Sara. Really interesting talk on how...
I have one question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was going to ask if it's possible, could we save the questions until the end? Because we're actually running behind schedule. If that's okay, is that possible?
It is possible to be member of the Open Science Community Europe, and what is requirement to be membership of this community? There is special condition, free or payable. But first this question. Second question, information shared between members, but some university has software. This software too shareable or not? Example, university from Azerbaijan apply to be membership this community. In this case, it will be free or payable. Second, software too shareable or not?
So yeah. I don't know. So just, yeah. Okay, to answer your question, yeah. You know, this is a European project that has specific funds its member. Of course, there is an opportunity to adhere to the project with a memorandum of understanding, and yeah, regarding funding, it's maybe, I don't know if it's possible, but we can we can look at the activities. It is very important, to participate in this, peer network and in providing specification of your countries and, as I said, also participating in the survey that will start this month. And so, to design also the resources according to the needs of Azerbaijan and of your institutions. We are very happy to welcome and to work. Of course, at the moment, this is also a very huge partnership, so the resources are limited. There is another.
Go ahead.
So I think I can answer the question regarding the open science community in Europe. There is the European Open Science Cloud Association, EOSC Association, that Sara has mentioned. And I checked, there are no members from Azerbaijan in that association. That association membership is, it costs something, but it does not cost a lot. I don't have the exact information, but I think that we can find out quite soon how much does it cost, and that entitles you to to be part of that community. I think that there are two kinds of membership. You can be observer, you can be full member. So that would be I would say that would be the first step. Whether that could be part of the EaPEC, I do not know. That was not discussed in the EaPEC context, but that in order to get to the membership of this European Open Science Cloud initiative and the open science community in Europe, that would be one path forward. And part of the resources, for the open resources that are considered to be shared and to be findable and accessible via European Open Science Cloud, software is certainly one of the types of the resources that are being considered. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Raimondas. Let's move on to our next set of speakers who are joining us remotely. I'd like to welcome Pim Slot and Anster Woerds, who will join us via Zoom from the Netherlands. So I'd like to say thank you very much, Sara, for your presentation, and I leave the floor to Pim and Ans. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I will start, and I'm happy that Pim and I can present our presentation remotely because we were not able to come, unfortunately, so we cannot really talk to you. But anyway, we have our credentials at the end of the slides, and you can always contact us by mail or whatever. I'm Ans de Woerds. I'm a contract manager at SURF, and SURF is the NREN for the Netherlands. So we are, well, as a contract manager, I am specifically working for contracts, agreements, negotiations with publishers, scientific publishers worldwide, and we negotiate with our members. And I will share my presentation now then. So I will tell more about SURF and about what we are doing in the Netherlands in order to cooperate in all kind of innovative projects to make the IT infrastructure in the Netherlands, improve it. Okay, I will share my screen and go to the presentation and make it a slide presentation. Okay, I hope you can see the screen now. What is SURF? I will go to the next one. SURF is a cooperative, and we work with our members to collaborate and improve the IT information in the Dutch and education and research environment. With them, with the members, we try to drive the IT innovation for this education and research fields, and we do that in cooperation with our members. Our members are over 100 education and research institutions in the Netherlands, and these are the universities of applied sciences, research institutes, the university medical centers. These are the academic hospitals which are part of the university system in the Netherlands, and some smaller institutions, also the vocational institutions. And our goal is to improve and get a more flexible education and research environment, and therefore we do cooperate with all of them. So SURF is a cooperative, and like I say, we do collaborate, and we want to work together across the boundaries of the sectors or the campuses or the different faculties, and therefore combine and share knowledge about and optimally use the IT in education and research. We are a service provider. I will tell more about the procurement and contracting teams we have within SURF. And we provide a lot of services that we have been created in consultation with the members. And we also have a very large innovative workspace team, and we will create and work with our members to get and use the IT facilities nowadays and all the technological developments in an ecosystem approach. And therefore, we want to ensure that content and technology reinforces each other. And therefore, collaboration is needed, not only on the national level, but also on an international level. And it was good to hear Sara to talk about all the European projects. And we are actually working within the Netherlands with the same type of developments. And well, cooperation is very important in this. So we do want to opt for an integrated approach in which people, institutions, experts, suppliers, etc., agreements like protocols, which are very important, standards, and technology, service and innovation come together in a structured way to reach a solution. And this is our ecosystem approach. And the ecosystem approach has led to a variety of services and applications. And this is what, through SURF and our institutions, we have already developed or are in the process of developing. So there is, for example, EduRoam. EduRoam stands for Education Roaming, and that's an international Wi-Fi internet access roaming service for users in research, higher education and further education. So people who are connected to a University of Applied Sciences, they can use the EduRoam Wi-Fi network internet connection whenever they are abroad. So then they get connected if that institution where they are working or just visiting, if that institution also has an EduRoam connection, then they can use their own internal databases, sources, like they are working on campus. So that's a great advantage of EduRoam. We do have Snellius, that's our national supercomputer, and researchers can rent space for computing capacity. So if they do research and they need to work with big data sets, the institutions and the researchers can rent space at Snellius. We also have SURF Connects, and SURF Connects is a federated authentication system based on SAML. And like Sibolet, we provide global access to cloud services with only one set of credentials. So our members, they can use SURF Connects, and through that, a lot of publishers, for example, are accessible through SURF Connects, not only to IP addresses, but also through SURF Connects. So that makes it a very secure and stable connection. We also have the broker services for IT departments and libraries. I already mentioned that I'm working in a team where we do the negotiations with the international, the large publishers, but also the smaller ones, society publishers. And we're trying to make as many open access, read and publish transformative contracts as possible, because we think that open access, open science is very important. And the other team in the procurement and contracting department where we work, they do the contracts negotiations with the major providers like Microsoft, Google, but also all the software and cloud solutions for the educational and research environment in the Netherlands. So we do have contracts with, of course, the big publishers like Elsevier, Springer, Wiley, Taylor and Francis, and with the smaller ones. And at present, with the Knowledge Exchange Network, 6 countries in Europe, they work together, and we are now working on seeing whether we can also work on transformative agreements with the very small publishers, because we don't want to have all the big publishers take over the whole information and research distribution system. So we also want to have the smaller publishers to take part in that. I will skip the edu services, edu sources, edu badges, because these are all services that are developed by SURF and the institutions. And I will go to the innovation of scientific publishing and education. So then new forms of services and models we are working on. Open science, open access. The Netherlands has been very early adapters of the Plan S, Coalition S, how do you say that? The Coalition S improvements to make publications and have authors publish open access in all kind of journals. So at present, about 95% of the publications by Dutch authors are open access now, and we, of course, want to make this 100%. And there is a national program of open science, NPOS, and that is set up by the Minister of Education, Culture and Science, and he announced in a policy letter on open science that 20 million euros will be allocated to open science each year from 2023 onwards to 2031. So both the Dutch Association of Universities, the Dutch Association of Universities of Applied Sciences and SURF, we are now executing a 4-year acceleration plan for the innovation with IT in the educational and research market. In order to get a better connection to the job market, what is really needed with all the developments, making education more flexible and learn smarter and better by using technology. So we want to improve the sharing of knowledge, digital learning environments, etc. And now I hand over to my colleague Pim, who will tell more about himself and about the programs.
Yes, thank you, Ans. Good morning to you all. As Ans, I'm also sorry I won't be able to meet you face to face in Baku, but I hope you have a great conference in that beautiful city. My name is Pim Slot. I'm a colleague of Ans and also work at SURF in Utrecht in the Netherlands, but I'm speaking to you from my home in Amsterdam. I, as Ans, work as a contract manager, but also spend part of my time connecting our procurement and contracting services to innovation programs. And I would like to tell you a bit more about a great program that SURF and its members, the institutions for higher and vocational education, will go through in the next couple of years in the Netherlands. This so-called National Digitization Impulse Program is actually inspired by the wish that the universities and schools must take back control over the educational process, which has been acquired more and more by the big techs and the large publishers over the last couple of years. This means public values will be again decisive whether a supplier will be allowed to play its role. For example, copyright will stay within the universities and schools when developing learning materials or publications. Personal data and educational data will be owned by the universities and schools and are only to be used by commercial suppliers if they handle data according to European privacy rules. So they need to be GDPR compliant. In this 8-year program funded by the Dutch government, higher and vocational education will work together to meet their ambitions, to achieve agile and efficiently organized education, to develop an IT infrastructure that provides good and secure access to IT facilities through joint agreements, and to create a knowledge infrastructure that will provide one source of knowledge by creating centers for teaching and learning on each of the institutions. In the program, teachers, students, researchers, employees, employers and suppliers will work together in so-called transition hubs, in which they bundle their knowledge and innovative power to solve complex issues in collaboration. The next slide, please. What you see now is a drawing that shows in a glance the whole rationale behind the Impulse program, unfortunately only in Dutch, but it shows the complex program in a glance. One central platform managing flexible and agile education, giving access to all digital learning materials needed, and creating a national knowledge infrastructure. It provides agile and efficiently organized education. A learner, for instance, whether he is 16 or 99 years old, can choose from the educational offer of all educational institutions. Enrolling is easy and all study results can be found in one place. Education is current because it connects to the demands of the labor market and society. And it will focus on digital learning materials as well. Agreements with publishers and libraries about describing and making available learning materials ensure that learners find learning materials in one place. Teachers receive support in together developing and sharing new material which increases the quality. The program is divided into two phases. Phase 1, starting in 2023, will lay the foundation for the IT infrastructure and the knowledge infrastructure as well. And also 2 of the 8 transformation hubs will start. The hub focused on transforming education into an agile and flexible way, and the hub focused on digital learning materials. The first teaching and learning centers will be set up and researchers will start research on their education. The second phase, starting in 2025, will work in transformation hubs on study data and artificial intelligence, teacher support, new technologies, and public-private collaborations. All aimed at this one big ambition we have, to have world-class education in the Netherlands by 2031. So, a wrap-up of our presentation. SURF, as the national NREN, has adopted a variety of initiatives and services aimed at improving and innovating Dutch education and research. Being a cooperation, SURF needs to have a clear look on keeping a balance between her role as a broker and her role as service provider and her role as coordinating of programs and projects for and with its members. And finally, the National Impulse Program, as I explained, will have a profound effect on the future of education in the Netherlands. So to the last slide, please. Thank you. As Ans told at the start of our presentation, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send us a mail Or if you want to know anything more about SURF, go to our website www.surf.nl/en, when you will find all information also in English. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't know whether there are some questions.
Yes, I was just going to say thank you very much and for providing your overview on your experience about how educational institutions can take back control and boost the learning through the integration of the whole ecosystem of education materials. Just to open to the floor, does anyone have a question for Ans and Pim? We have one in the front row, if we could grab the mic.
Thank you very much. My question is about that she mentioned that 95% of publication by Dutch authors are open access. My question is that who pay? Who does pay for open access journals? Government or authors?
Yes, well, we do have now this kind of system in Holland that we do the negotiations with teams from university libraries, and we are negotiating with the publishers, all publishers, and try to make as profitable, open access, transformative agreements with them as possible. And well, the whole open access process is rather complicated because, of course, the publishers don't want to lose their profits, which they still make. And therefore, we really do have to negotiate well. Well, the institutions who are cooperating and want to have an agreement with this specific publisher, they actually pay a certain amount extra to the access, the reading contracts they already had to their subscriptions. And with that, the institutions actually pay for the different researchers if they want to publish an article open access. So then they can publish the article open access with a specific journal, with the publisher with whom we have an agreement.
Thank you very much, Ans. That's really helpful. So I'd like to thank Ans and Pim once again for their presentation. And now I'd like to invite our last speaker of the session, Shmueli, who will talk about how the NREN can accelerate the adoption of learning technologies. So Eli, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And presentation, any slides, please? Okay. Thank you. My name is Shmueli. I'm from the Israeli NREN, IUCC, Inter-University Communication Center in Israel. And I will talk about how can NREN accelerate an adoptive of learning technologies. We'll wait for the presentation for a minute. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to talk about learning technology and the unit that I'm responsible in Israel, and to see how this can affect the connection and collaboration with the NREN into the universities and colleges, and we'll see some example for that. So I will start by saying a few words about the NREN itself. You know, the NREN is similar to others. We saw SurfNet and others, but IUCC, the Israeli NREN, is dealing with learning technologies, digital information services, information, system and application, and infrastructure technologies. We also a member with GÉANT, of course, the ultra-fast and reliable pan-European communications infrastructure. Services and the network. And we're a member with PRACE, the Partnership for advanced computing in Europe, and of course others, EduRoam and other application or other solutions, services that we're offering to the Israeli entrants. And now I'll talk about one of the unit, the Learning Technology Unit in IUCC that deals with the Inter-University Center for E-Learning. This is a unit, it's a very old unit for more than 20 years, but during the pandemic, the COVID-19, this unit became more and more critical for the Institute, and this actually help and support Institute during the pandemic with different aspects and try to help them as much as we can to integrate and promote the use of learning technologies for the specific need, the pedagogic needs and other aspects. So this is was very, very critical in the last few years, and we like to make sure that this, after the pandemic, we will continue to use this technology in universities and colleges and to make sure that it will be part of the learning and teaching during the next few years or for now and ever. The member in our activity is 9 universities, research universities in Israel, and more than 25 colleges that involved in our activity. You can see the list here. Our primary objective is to promote and advance learning technology in higher education in the Israel is through a national and international collaboration, and to make sure that Institute will adopt the 21 centuries techno-pedagogical practice. We call it skills, we call it different terms, but in the most effective and efficient way based on the experience and expertise, and to make sure that by collaboration will work, will be part of that with other institutes, with all the institutes in Israel. Our partner to this activity that deals with learning technology, first we have a steering committee. This is our committee that help us to have a guidelines to our activity in Israel. That means we have people from different aspects, from pedagogical aspect, teachers and other people from the universities, and technologists people that are work together and think what's the needs and how we can support them and help them, and what are the right pedagogical needs that technology can help. We have different experts that support that, the learning technologies, techno-pedagogy, as I mentioned, the combination between technology and pedagogy, learning design, how to design. Amazing. Yeah, let me make sure that. Okay. Okay. Let's run to the next one. Okay, so we talked about it, and this one. Okay, so as I said, we had a steering committee that we works together, and the expert that we have, learning technologies, techno-pedagogical, learning design, Moodle open source, and all others experts that can support the teaching and learning. We have a working group for learning environment, new technologies, methodological and staff development, video producing, learning communities, and any other needs that the group and the teacher are needed, and we are offering them that. Leading thing for special issue like research and information, techno-pedagogical, copyrights, and learning in analytics and academic research. This all the needs that we discuss with the steering committee and understand that the universities and colleges are needing that at the moment, and we support that as an NREN. And of course, a group of people in campuses that promote teaching and learning. This is specialist people in the universities, in the institute, that we are working together and make sure that we are try to support their needs. And the learning technology companies, different technologies that we like to offer, so we try to combine everything together and make sure that we have the right solution for the right technology, right solution for the right needs. And this is our main activities that we are dealing with. We have a webinar, workshop, and seminars. We have learning technologies solution. We mentioned that, and we'll see that in a few slides. We have a learning technology consortium agreement. That means the NREN brings the agreement all together and offer that to the universities based on, of course, based on pricing, based on needs, and based on the solution that they're offering. And we are offering that to the university. Research and information, and the international collaboration. We mentioned Erasmus and others, but this is something that we are offering as well. And I think the most important thing is a large community, interinstitutional community that works together, share knowledge, share information, and actually give the experience of one institute to the other to work together. So this is one of the important things that we have. Just to see the numbers that we are talking about, there was 46 online webinar in 2001. That means almost once a week for all universities, and it was open for all universities and campuses in Israel. 32 learning technology are part of the toolkit that we offered to the universities. We had 6 inter-university projects and 5 international projects like Erasmus and Horizon, and 1 annual conference that we'll see a few slides. And this is the different discipline and subject that we are dealing. If you can see that we are talking about the technology and infrastructure in some cases, but in the others, in the pedagogical aspect, it's all between. And this is something that makes the connection between technology and pedagogical needs, and we are trying to get the specific needs of the institute and support them as much as we can. And the annual conference once a year, this is the 20th annual conference. It's not, this year it was face-to-face. And we have over 350 participants from Israel and from all over, 60 talks, international track, learning technology exhibitions. It's all based on the activity that we had all year. Research and technology and pedagogical aspects come together, and it was open for teachers, of course, and for technical staff that support the learning technologies in the campuses, in the universities. Yeah. Okay. Learn Technology Toolkit, this is something that we are offering. We are, as a central group, we located a new learning technologies, try to find the innovation, and make them available to higher education institute, provide support in some cases, and help members to deploy the technologies. And we have now more than 30 learning technologies, negotiated a consortium agreement that makes sure that it will be in a consortium, it will be the best price, and then et cetera, and to make sure that it's relevant for them. And support them with an overview and review that we are, as a group, try to collect from our expertise and from others. And this is the different tools that we're offering. It's not all of them, most of them. Most of the learning technologies, applications. You can see from different subjects. We will see how we divide it. But we offer them, we divide it to discipline or to sub-groups like a Moodle solution, for example, synchronized meeting like Zoom, Google, and others, like transcription. We have at least 3 or 4 of them. Plagiarism, Kaltura, video solution. We divided, and this is all the technology that the NREN is offering to the Institute. And what's special here, we have a special issue to deal with the tender, and we offer him more than one technology in a subject. That means the Institute can choose which one he'd like to use. When we have, it's not one solution for all, it's different solutions that they can pick. And I think this is what makes it easier for them to be involved in this project. And I want to talk about one sub group here. One of them, it's we learned that there is different discipline with different needs. That means exact science need different technologies. So we try to divide it by discipline. That means to find a right solution for right discipline and make sure that everybody has any kinds of solution. We need it for other disciplines as well. And we learned, when we used the Zoom in the last few years, we learned that there is lack of communication and collaboration between students. And when you offer a Zoom, this is a basic technology synchronized. It sometimes makes a distance. And we need other tools to support that. And other tools, it's for collaboration, communication, and sharing knowledge and other tools. So we understand that very soon at the beginning of the pandemic, and we offered those tools like WooClap, Mentimeter, Engagely, and others, tools that can support this higher level of communication and interaction between students. And I think this is very important, and this subgroup is very important to Institute, and we're gonna offer them another tools based on that. You can see your originality and the Netcraft and others solution that it's offered to the student. I'm not gonna go into that, but we learned during the last few years that we need knowledge body, or what, I hope this is the right term to say that, about learning technologies. And we need to have research, we need to have reports, we need to have funding, research funding, policy paper, white paper, technology overview and review. We need that to have in a central place. I think the SURF people mentioned that as well. And to have access to this knowledge for all university, that will help making decision to provide an update picture, that will help to making decision and future development to understand what's happened and where to go. And this is something that we create at the beginning. We are in the beginning of the process, but we are trying to have a central knowledge that will be offered, that will be able to offer to the institute to make sure that they have the right picture and how to promote their decision based on that knowledge. I mentioned international collaboration, Erasmus, Horizon, other projects that we involved in. One of them is actually coordinated by GÉANT up to university. But I think this is important to mention because we are trying to focus on the learning technology project that can support the ideas of develop technologies, develop methods, develop others, develop different models, and etc. related to the learning technology. And all those projects are related to that, and we are like to maybe have some collaboration and communication or with others here. Okay, I'm not going to go into that because of the time, but this is two training that we offer to techno-pedagogical people to have a standard and support them in the institute. This is a new role in the institute, and we try to support it, and a training for lecture, how to use learning technologies in class with different learning models, etc. As I said, with lack of time, so we'll continue. One more thing that I will mention, it's our accelerator. We realized that there is a good connection, or we try to establish a good connection with companies, higher education institute, and the research, and to have a startups accelerator that connect between the user, that means the institute itself, and the startup companies that we are dealing in Israel a lot, and to find the best way to bring innovation and innovation and a good solution, and make sure that the solution is related or related to the needs of the universities, and try to work together on that, and research and evaluation. This is something that we are building now. I hope that during this year we will have this accelerator to support startup that will deal with learning technology. And I think this is the last slide. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Do you want to take a seat? Thank you very much, Ellie. Very interesting talk about the experiences in Israel with the MEITAL Research and Innovation Center and for accelerating adoption of learning technologies throughout Israel. I think that's a fantastic presentation. Does anyone have a quick question for Ellie? We have, I'll take this gentleman's question and then I'll come over here, please.
I have a question about online education platform technology. We know that available many platforms, but this platform created for the video conferencing, not for the online educations. Example, MS Teams, Zoom, or Google Meet. All these platforms more suitable for the video conferencing. In this platform, we cannot reflect all the particular properties education. To increase efficiency of this online platform, we need some extra technology. Example, Moodle, yes, and other. In the world or in your company, available some opinion, which platform is more suitable for the online education? Because different institutions are using different platforms. In the Central Asia are using Zoom. In Azerbaijan, more institutions, MS Teams. Other country, in Turkey, Google Meet. But I think Google Meet, it is very easy to adopt Moodle, but other is not adoptable. Which of this platform you think is more suitable for the online education process? Thank you.
So, all of them and none of them. I think it's a good question because the Zoom, we had a pandemic. We had to move very fast from a face-to-face to online. And during this process, we try to find any best solution that we can. But now we understand and we know, actually we know that after a few months of the learning, that Zoom it's not enough, and we need to have other models and solutions that institute, that mean teacher needs. They need a different pedagogical aspects or pedagogical concept. They need different models. They need tools for other, like asynchronic, they need tools for, they need collaboration and communication. And I think what we did, we realized that very fast. And the things that we did in Israel for that, we have lots of webinar and online sessions for the teacher to help them have the concept, how to understand how to control, altogether, it was new for us as well, how to manage the teaching and learning in a different way, and not just a face-to-face meeting on Zoom, and to have the asynchronic mode. You mentioned Moodle or other solution for that, so to have that support the teaching. So in that case, to summarize the answer, we have to focus on the needs and the pedagogical needs and find the right solution for that. For exact science, we need other tools. For other discipline, we need other tools. In general, the technology is there. We just need to find the right models and the right connections. Hope it answers.
Thanks very much. And the last question to this gentleman.
Thank you for your interesting presentation. Just I have, my question is about one of your slides. You mentioned in MEITAL activities six or five inter-university projects. Who funds financially these projects on a national level in Israel? And also, do you contribute with funding, or you just act there as participant? Thank you.
There is, I mentioned, 3 national projects and 5 international. So the international is very easy because we are involved in other projects with partners from Europe and partners from all over the world, including Azerbaijan. So that's the easy part because there is a process for that. The Israeli national projects are very complicated, like all over. Some cases we get the funding from the government. Some cases from the university itself. Other cases we try to find other resources for that. There is no central place that brings the money, but we try to find different resources for different projects. In some cases, the government, but only in some cases, not as much as we like to have.
Thanks very much, Eli. Some practical things. Lunch is served next door. Please, could you be back in the room for 13:45 so that we can start promptly, so we don't start the session late again. And just in summary, today we've heard about the challenges that groups involved in education, research, skills development face, and some of the key developments on the European landscape about what's going on in this particular field. I hope that you've learned something from the session today. I'd encourage you to talk to the speakers. I'm sorry if you've got more questions, but in the interest of time, we want to wrap the session up. But I'd like to say thank you very much to Sara, to Eli, to Pim and Ans, who are online, and also to my co-chair, Masuma. And with that, I'd like to say thank you very much, everyone. And with that, I close the session. Thank you.